But that's the way I think of Tylenol. Tylenol is the only thing we use when we need a pain reliever, whether it be a headache, a sore shoulder, too much motorcycle riding, whatever it is. Tylenol is the only thing we have in the house. Do you know where I first discovered Tylenol? I was in the hospital having my son Andrew. They gave me Tylenol and it worked just great. That was 14 years ago, and we've been using Tylenol ever since. Turns out, Tylenol's the pain reliever hospitals use most. That says a lot to me, because a hospital is responsible for you. And if they trust Tylenol, you know you can trust it.
For relief you can trust. Trust Tylenol. Hospitals do. Tylenol, in regular and extra strength.
Tylenol is the only pain reliever I give my family. It works, and I know I can trust it. I can't think of a better way to describe a good friend.
Women's fashions furnished by Giorgio's Beverly Hills. Join us again for the young and the restless.
This is CBS.
Police have surrounded the Wayzata post office at this hour, where a gunman is reportedly cornered after he allegedly shot at least 3 people. One of those shot is believed to be a police officer. Former Vice President Walter Mondale is in town today. Mondale is doing some campaigning, has taken a strong stance on a homeland for the Palestinians. Workers at Honsa Bakery started their ovens and opened their doors once again following an outbreak of food poisoning from baked goods made there. And for 91 years, the Hamlin Dining Hall has been serving home-cooked meals to State Fair visitors. We'll visit one of the oldest restaurants on the fairgrounds. And Bud Kraehling will be along to tell us if rainy weather will threaten fairgoers on the 6th day of the Minnesota State Fair. All that and more is ahead on the Noon Report.
Ennio Riga, famous chef.
When I heard Chef Boyardee new recipe spaghetti sauce beat this ragu sauce almost 2-to-1 in a national taste test, I did my own taste test. Chef Boyardee is a lot thicker. So thick, I can spoon it up with a fork. It has a better tasting blend of spices. Onions, oregano, basil. Chef Boyardee does taste better.
We guarantee you'll like it better or your money back. New recipe Chef Boyardee, the taste that beat ragu almost 2-to-1.
Juicy steaks, corn so fine, tomatoes you pick right off the vine. You bring it all together with country time, summertime, mealtime. That's the time for country time. Tastes like good old-fashioned lemonade.
Country Time lemonade flavored drink mix.
Summertime, mealtime, that's the time for country time. Summertime.
How do you get shirts so clean, Mr. Lee?
Ancient Chinese secret.
My husband, some hotshot. Here's his ancient Chinese secret, Calgon. Calgon's 2 water softeners soften wash water so detergents clean better. In hardest water, Calgon helps detergents get laundry up to 30% cleaner. We need more Calgon. Ancient Chinese secret, huh?
Calgon helps detergents get laundry up to 30% cleaner.
WCCO Television, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
From WCCO Television, Minneapolis, St. Paul, the Northwest's leading news station. This is the Noon Report.
Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us for this Tuesday, August 31st edition of the Noon Report, live from the Minnesota State Fair. I'm Bill Carlson.
And I'm Debbie Ely, and leading the news at this hour, a police emergency is in progress right now in Wayzata, where 3 and maybe 4 people have been shot. WCCO's Steve Johnson is following the events from our Minneapolis newsroom. Steve, what's happening?
Debbie, we know now that at least 4 people have been shot. One of them is a police officer, and a suspect is right now holed up in the postmaster's office at the Wayzata post office with at least 2 weapons in hand. Here is the sequence of events as we know them now. About 10:50 this morning, a policeman was shot at an apartment building at 930 Rice in Wayzata. The policeman's identity is not known, but hospital sources say he was shot in the stomach and his condition is critical and not stable. We believe that the gunman then left the building for the courthouse, which is in the Wayzata City Hall. There, he reportedly fired at 2 people, a woman and a man. This is a shot from our live eye in the sky helicopter over the scene right now at this moment. First reports are that the man was shot in the leg and is in stable condition at North Memorial Hospital. The woman, more seriously wounded in the stomach, is in critical condition. The gunman then proceeded to the post office at 229 Minnetonka Boulevard. And for a time, he held some hostages, we believe. But now reports are that all employees inside the post office are out of the building. I repeat, all employees inside the post office are out of the building. Now, another police officer was shot at by the gunman at the post office. That officer, however, was only grazed in the head, and he did not require hospitalization. The gunman is reportedly armed with two weapons, one an automatic pistol and a handgun that may be the officer's who was shot first. Police have surrounded the building, as we say, and they are in a holding situation right now, not wanting to endanger any more lives. Homes immediately adjacent to the building have also been evacuated. WCCO Television has 3 crews at or near the scene right now, and we will indeed update you just as soon as more details become available, including interrupting programming later on in the afternoon. Debbie?
Steve, any idea what provoked all of this?
The first report from police is that they were responding to a domestic situation. That's all we know at this point.
Okay, thank you very much, Steve. Meanwhile, a search is in progress for 2 escapees from the Anoka County Jail. Donald Eugene Calabar and David Lovell Watson were reported missing from their cell about 1:15 this morning by guards. They apparently removed a security plate from the ventilation system and then climbed through the ductwork to escape. The Anoka County Major Crime Unit is investigating that jailbreak, and police advise that both men should be considered dangerous. Calabar, who sometimes uses the name Donald Eugene Ross, is described as white, 5'11", 160 pounds. He's 19 years old and from Andover, Minnesota. Donald Watson is also known as Donald Lovell Taylor. He is described as black, 22 years old, 6 feet tall, and weighs 180 pounds. Watson lives in Minneapolis. Bill?
Debbie, the State Fair Grandstand show by Air Supply ended abruptly last night when the group's lead singer fell 12 feet from a platform next to the stage to the ground. Russell Hitchcock apparently misjudged the distance from scaffolding holding speakers and fell to the concrete. According to the group's manager, Hitchcock broke his wrist and suffered head injuries. This noon, he's been released from St. Paul Ramsey Hospital. So far, it's uncertain whether the group will make its next concert stop. Air Supply is scheduled to perform on Wednesday in Kansas City. First-time Minnesota homebuyers got good news from Governor Al Quie this morning. The governor announced the availability of $40 million in low-interest loans for prospective homebuyers across the state. The money is the second phase of a $70 million program approved last June. The money is expected to provide low-interest loans for 725 households. Applications for the mortgages will be accepted starting September 15th. Potential homebuyers are talking and calling Banco Mortgage Company about a new mortgage plan. The company is offering 15-year, 11% mortgages.
Bill, some folks are calling from as far away as New Jersey.
Since this program is government guaranteed, it uses the same eligibility requirements as FHA and VA programs. But that's where the similarities end. Here's an example. A buyer takes out a $70,000 home loan. At 11% for 15 years, the monthly payments would be $795. That compares to $829 with the present 30-year 14% rate. At the end of the 15 years, the buyer would have paid approximately $143,000. But after 30 years, the total price would be twice that. The new plan is not without some disadvantages for the buyer and seller. The home seller must pay points. The points on a $70,000 loan equal $4,900. The buyer has less interest to deduct on taxes, $2,100 less in the first year of that $70,000 loan. Within the next month, the first loan papers will be sold to Wall Street investors. Banco mortgage officials say they'll go like hotcakes.
Big advantage of why Wall Street likes this program is the fact that the shorter maturity, and which hasn't been available too often in housing instruments up till now.
David Beal anticipates that in time, at least half of the mortgages that Banco writes will be the low-rate 15-year mortgages. For now, Banco is the only lender offering that option, but other mortgage companies say that they will be doing it as soon as they can. Those who already own homes and those who rent could soon be shelling out an additional 7.4% for natural gas. Monday was the first day for the public to respond to the Minnegasco rate hike proposal. Members of a community organization claimed that the rate increase would be devastating for the poor, and they found some support among those attending last night's meeting. Jim Newman reports.
A company representative said inflation has forced up company costs. He said Minnegasco could not afford to continue its level of service without a rate increase.
The purpose of Minnegasco's rate filing is to permit the recovery of its increased costs for providing gas service, due almost entirely to inflation. The rate filing does not include any amounts for increases in the cost of gas which Minnegasco purchases from its pipeline supplier, Northern Natural Gas Company.
State Senator Linda Berglund testified. Berglund noted Minnegasco was granted a rate increase last November. The senator said everybody should tighten their belts, even utilities.
We know that in 1981 they reported profits of 7.1%. This accounted for a $16 million profit statement for them. The increase that they're asking for will account for between $3 and $5 a month for residential customers. For some people, they simply will not be able to pay that.
Minnegasco estimates as many as 1,000 customers in the state may be cut off this winter for not paying utility bills. Testimony on the rate increase will be complete this November. Jim Newman, WCCO Television News, South Minneapolis.
The tenuous calm of the streets of Poland was shattered this morning. Riot troops fired tear gas grenades into crowds of demonstrators marking the anniversary of the birth of the Solidarity Union. The martial law regime had warned against demonstrations today and had clearly hoped that a poor turnout for demonstrations would mean that the union is losing its strength. But even last night, chanting Poles took to the streets in at least one city, giving martial law leaders a glimpse of what was to come today. Others went to one large place for gatherings in churches. In one rare 3-hour mass, the support for the union was clear. Solidarity may not have functional leadership under the martial law government, but it continues to have the support of the people. In a spin-off from the situation in Poland, Great Britain has become the second Western European nation to defy President Reagan. Today, 500 crates of technological equipment are being loaded on a Soviet freighter destined for use in the Trans-Siberian pipeline. President Reagan had called for the ban in return for Soviet involvement in the Polish crisis. Bill?
From Lebanon today, reports of the first dogfight between Syrian and Israeli aircraft since mid-June. Israel's military command confirms reports that its jets have shot down a Syrian MiG jet near Beirut. The command claims the downed plane was on a photographic mission over Lebanon. The falling Syrian plane tore the roof from an apartment building. No casualties among the residents were reported, but at least one man in the plane was killed. The airfight came as the last PLO guerrillas were leaving that country. Former Vice President Walter Mondale, in town to campaign for gubernatorial candidate Warren Spanis, gave reporters a mouthful on the question of peace in the Middle East. After a round of handshaking with voters on the Nicollet Mall in Minneapolis, Mondale broke away from camaraderie and got serious on questions about the future and preservation of war-torn Lebanon.
I think what counts now is to get on with peace and to try to return Lebanon to the Lebanese, get the Syrians out of there, get the PLO out of there. The Israelis will be glad to leave, restore Lebanon to what she was before, and reach a peace treaty between Israel and Lebanon.
The former vice president also made it clear that he's upset over the Reagan administration's economic policies. He said the Midwest, and particularly Minnesota, has suffered drastically.
I have never seen my state in as much difficulty as it is right now since the Great Depression. And whether it's farming or senior citizens or miners or businesses, this situation is desperate. And I don't think at this point the economy is getting any better.
Just 2 weeks from today, Minnesotans head to the polls for primary elections. Debbie?
The IR candidates for governor last night met in what may be their last joint appearance before the primary. The two frontrunners disagreed on what approach to take toward state spending. Wheelock Whitney released a plan last week to hold down taxes by freezing state and local aid the next 2 years. Lou Wongberg said Whitney is using the wrong approach.
We dare not destroy our basic institutions or skyrocket property taxes, skyrocket tuition rates, close down colleges such as this one, all of which are the immediate consequence of being too indiscreet in the way our program is put together.
But I don't necessarily believe that just because state government does not increase at a certain level every year to schools or to local government, that necessarily means an increase in property taxes. That becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy after a while, because the assumption is that business will go on as usual.
Wongberg will release his own proposals on spending later this week. Whitney said that Wongberg hasn't offered anything with enough substance to merit another joint appearance. Anoka Bakery reopens, and in Hopkins, a recall of food from a warehouse where PCBs has been leaking from transformers. We'll have those stories in just a moment on the Noon Report.
Now, here at Supers, there are just a few things you have to prepare. Super burger, super taco, super roast beef, super parmesan, super pasta, super toscano, super...
At Kentucky Fried Chicken, we all work together to do one thing. Make great fried chicken.
Ham and egg muffin, super veal, super pizza, super this, super that, super the other.
And remember, there's just one way to do chicken right. The Colonel's way.
Kentucky Fried Chicken, we do it right for you. Kentucky Fried Chicken, we do chicken right.
At Weight Loss Clinic, we're flying high. We're celebrating 7 soaring years, helping hundreds of thousands of men and women achieve their weight loss goals. Our 7-year anniversary means 50% off our regular $78 program. You pay only $39 plus receive a free full-color diet and fitness poster just for stopping by. The years have flown by, but so will this special. Call or visit your nearby weight loss clinic now.
The discovery of a second leaking transformer at a Hopkins food warehouse has prompted a voluntary recall of sweet corn and other foods from 700 Minnesota grocery stores. The first leak of PCBs, a toxic chemical from Gateway Foods, was discovered last Friday. On Monday, investigators from the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency spotted the second leak. It was located over a bakery that serves Applebaum food markets, but apparently didn't contaminate anything in the bakery. Although no contamination has been found in food stored in the warehouse, the voluntary recall is being conducted just to be on the safe side.
Honsa's Bakery is open for business again this noon. The bakery voluntarily closed its doors last week following an outbreak of food poisoning. More than 1,000 people were affected by the outbreak. Tests are still being conducted, but Minnesota Department of Health officials suspect that the outbreak was caused by Norwalk virus. That virus produces flu-like symptoms for a couple of days. It is not, however, life-threatening, and only a few of those affected required hospitalization. Confirmed results of the test won't be available for another week. The Minnesota Agriculture and Health Departments have examined the bakery and its employees and have given that go-ahead for reopening. Clerical workers in the Roseville School District are at their desks today. Last night they approved a tentative contract with the district. Earlier, the 112 workers had threatened to strike if their demands were not met. The Commerce Department reports today that the government's index of leading economic indicators is on the rise for the 4th straight month. July's index was up 1.3%, the second largest jump in more than a year. Increases in building permits and in the cost of raw materials contributed to that increase. They are considered to be positive factors since such increases usually indicate rising demand. The index is the government's barometer for future economic trends. Stock prices are also on the rise today. Yesterday, the Dow Jones Industrial Index closed at its highest level this year, 893.30. That rally shows no signs of slowing today. At noon, the Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 2.86. Transportation issues are up 3.74, and utility issues up just a fraction. Bill?
Debbie, heavy rains are drenching much of southern Minnesota today, and Bud Kraehling decided to remain inside the CCO Weather Center just to be certain that he'd stay dry. Bud will tell us what our chances for rain are coming up on the Noon Report.
Introducing new Velveeta slices.
What you got there, Roger?
Velveeta slices.
Wouldn't care to trade with your old grandpa, would you?
No thanks, Gramps.
Now, Roger, we've known each other a long time. Gone to ball games and fishing together.
Best years of my life.
Well, what do you say? One slice? Just between us buddies.
Well, just between us buddies.
New Velveeta slices with a taste you wouldn't trade for just anything.
When my husband has a hemorrhoid flare-up, you'd think he was a bear. More doctors recommend Anusol suppositories for hemorrhoids. Anusol is not the one you hear about a lot, but it is the medication more doctors recommend. Anusol soothes, lubricates, in many cases temporarily relieves the occasional symptoms of inflammation like pain, itch. Anusol can also turn a bear into a honey.
Ah, Anusol from Park Davis, the suppositories more doctors recommend.
Hi, I'm Steve Doyle.
And I'm Marlo Bendow. On the next PM magazine, meet a Twin Cities fashion designer who is making a name for herself in the world of high fashion.
Then it's off to the State Fair for a special Phantom Diner review.
And we'll meet the people who run an ambulance in the sky for sick babies, witnessing a dramatic airlift to save a baby's life. Join us on the next PM magazine.
PM magazine, it's good TV. PM magazine, it's good TV.
We're now going to switch live to Wayzata, Minnesota, and WCCO reporter Tom Hendrick.
This is Lake Street in downtown Wayzata. We have a police unit here from St. Louis Park, a special unit. There are dozens of officers here. The several block area around the post office is cordoned off. We have a report from a police officer that 4 people have indeed been shot. 2 apparently were police officers themselves. It started this morning apparently the result of a domestic problem. An officer responded to a call. He went to a house. He came to the door and apparently was shot several times right there. At that point, the suspect went to Wayzata City Hall, and a police officer told me that he shot the first person he saw upon entering City Hall. Then he left. Another person has been shot, still another person apparently at the post office, 4 in all. The suspect, we're told, is now holed up, apparently alone, in one of the floors of the post office. That's why everything here, of course, is cordoned off. They say that we are just out of the line of fire over here. You can see right now the police officers are planning some sort of strategy, hiding behind the cars here and a couple of ambulances just in front of them. There is a lot of confusion, a lot of concern that there will be more gunfire here. So we're standing by. We will keep you posted. They have asked that helicopters in the area begin to move out because it is hampering a couple of efforts to communicate amongst themselves here. So we thought we'd pass that along right now, too. But as the situation stands right now, that's it. 4 people apparently have been shot. The man, we're told, is a diabetic, and the suspect, that is a diabetic and must have his insulin within an hour or his doctor says he will collapse. But apparently the officers here are getting ready to do something, and we will keep you posted.
Channel 4's Tom Hendrick live in Wayzata. We, of course, will keep abreast of that story and bring you further details as they become available to us. Now to Bud Kraehling in the WCCO Television Weather Center and news of what we can expect today, Bud.
Yes, if you've been waiting for a cloudy, cool, chance of rain day to go to the fair, you're probably already at the fair. If you're not going to the fair, maybe a good mystery book for the afternoon. This seems like an intrusion. Talk about the weather now with the developments in Wayzata. Bring you up to date. Some showers moved into the northern suburbs and the fairgrounds just before midnight last night. Then heavier showers and thunderstorms developing in eastern South Dakota moved into southwestern Minnesota. We had reports of winds at 60 miles an hour at Sioux Falls, 50-mile-an-hour winds at Marshall, pea-size hail. Other showers and thunderstorms in the Redwood Falls area, Alberley and Austin, and moving through the Rochester area earlier this morning. It looked like we were going to get another line of showers moving into the western suburbs, but those dissipated, and showers and thunderstorms developed right over St. Paul about 9:30 this morning. Now there are showers just east of Rochester to the La Crosse area. Another area of showers around Benson in Swift County, Little Falls, the area up along the river, and heavier showers in the Duluth area. There may be a break or two in the clouds in the central and east central Minnesota through the afternoon. In fact, it's partly cloudy right now. This is Worthington right there. It's 71 degrees. But it looks like through the afternoon and tonight, showers and thunderstorms will continue over much of Minnesota and Iowa and into Wisconsin along a frontal system that runs through that part of the eastern edge of the 5-state area. Low-pressure system moving out of the Dakotas, expected to lodge in central Minnesota through the afternoon and provide showers and thunderstorms tonight and tomorrow that would extend far to the south as Missouri, the Ohio Valley, Tennessee Valley, the Mid-Atlantic coastal area, forecasting rain at Chicago with an 80. Fair to partly cloudy through the western states. Billings at 79, Amarillo at 93. 87 is the forecast for Jacksonville. Now the temperature in the Twin Cities metro area is at 70 degrees. Our forecast is mostly cloudy. Good chance of showers and thunderstorms later this afternoon and tonight. 72 high today, 62 tonight. Southeast winds at 5 to 15. The forecast for tomorrow is decreasing cloudiness with the afternoon temperature of 75 degrees. The chance of rain again on Saturday, but before that time, we're fair to partly cloudy on Thursday and Friday. Chance of showers Saturday, 75 to 82 afternoon temperatures, and 50 to 58 for the nighttime readings. So we have a chance of rain today and again on Saturday. In between, a lot of sunshine at the fair.
Okay, I'm sure the Fair Board is looking forward to that.
Appropriate weather, sun, rain, what have you. A home run in the first inning by St. Paul's Dave Winfield gave the Yankees a one-sided victory over the Twins last night at the Metrodome. Tony Parker will have the highlights, and we'll step outside to check one of the fair's older attractions. That's ahead on the Noon Report.
It takes more than 75 full truckloads per week just to keep one Cub food store full. No other store in town sells that much food. It's because we charge so little that we sell so much. Or is it because we sell so much that we charge so little? Whatever. The important thing is that overall, no one has lower prices than Cub. And as long as we keep it that way, we'll just send it in one door and out the other. Our front door is now open at our new Brooklyn Park store. Come on in and save a truckload.
Why would anybody pay more when you can shower yourself with savings right now during Menards' anniversary sale? This quickie shower stall on sale for $77.88. Or clean up with savings on this 5-foot fiberglass tub for $87.77. And this A-grade Murray toilet on sale for just $35.88. Celebrate with free balloons and super buys on bathroom fixtures and lots more during Menards' anniversary sale.
Save big money at Menards.
The St. Paul native Dave Winfield, the Yankees' highest-paid player at something like a couple of $1 million a year when you figure how long he might play, wanted to make his debut in the Metrodome a notable one for the hometown fans last night, and he didn't skimp a bit. While some of 1,000 youngsters watched, courtesy of the Winfield Foundation free ticket program, the former Gopher star hit a 3-run homer in the top of the first, his 26th homer of the season, and as it turned out, the game-winning hit, his third homer and as many times at bat. Dave now has a team-leading 85 RBIs. The Twins came back in the bottom of the third to make a game of it, at least up to that point. Gary Ward's triple off Royce Smalley's glove gave them a couple of runs, scoring Hatcher and Cristino, and it was 3-2. But it was all over after the Yankees came back with 4 runs in the top of the fourth. The crowd of 11,325 was treated to one more prodigious Yankee homer, this one by Craig Nettles. The one-time Twin hit it 425 feet into the upper deck in right field in the 7th to make the final count 8-2. Frank Biola, who shut out the Yankees in New York last week, was strung out last night by the Bronx Bomber, leaving the game in the 4th with his 5th loss of the season. Shane Rawley all the way for the Yankees for his 9th win. They'll play 2 more in the Dome before the Twins hit the road again. Tonight, Ron Guidry goes against Brad Havens. Well, the Milwaukee Brewers, currently leading the American League West by 4.5 games, have taken a giant step toward ensuring a division championship. The Brewers acquired right-handed pitcher Don Sutton from the Houston Astros yesterday for 3 undisclosed players. The 37-year-old strikeout artist is 13-8 this season and joins a potent Milwaukee staff with a career record of 253 wins and 12 losses. Sutton is 8th on the all-time strikeout list, 10th in strikeouts, and has had an ERA of 3 or under 8 times in his career. Yesterday's meeting of the National Football League Players Association did not produce a strike deadline for the current collective bargaining talks between players and owners. Instead of setting a strike date, Union President Gene Upshaw of the LA Raiders said that the union has solidarity and repeated a strike threat if no new agreement is forthcoming.
We feel we have a union, a strong union, a union of players that are willing to do whatever is necessary to achieve our objectives. The players are unified. We've displayed it, starting with our convention in Albuquerque, all the way up through the handshakes. And with this meeting, we're ready and willing to take any risk to obtain a fair collective bargaining agreement.
Well, with no new strike date set yesterday, there's some indication there might be some softness in the players' position, but we won't know, I guess, for a while.
Well, Tony, as I'm sure you know, visitors to the state fair tend to stuff themselves with goodies, everything from Pronto Pups to cotton candy and fried ice cream. But Bill has found a fair concession providing a more nutritional fare along with some healthy servings of tradition. Here's Bill.
And Debbie, we are going to meet those folks tomorrow because we've had such a full day on our newscast today. So we'll meet the folks from Hamlin Dining Hall providing 91 years of service to fairgoers. We'll meet them tomorrow. Thank you for being with us on our noon report today, and we'll see you tomorrow at noon.
Introducing new Velveeta slices.
Hi, Roger. Hi, Priscilla. What you eating? Velveeta slices. Trade you for a slice? No, thanks. Let you carry my books. Nah. Want to come to my tea party? Tea party? Roger, I think you like Velveeta slices better than me. I like you better than Brussels sprouts.
New Velveeta slices with a taste you just wouldn't trade for anything.
Spectrum is here. Up to 70 movies every month for everyone within 60 miles of the Twin Cities. Plus, live sports and specials. Call now and don't miss these September blockbusters. Star Trek, Donald Sutherland in Eye of the Needle, Agatha with Vanessa Redgrave, The Great Muppet Caper, 9 to 5. All for you, uncut, uninterrupted. More of what you watch TV for. Spectrum, it's here now and the price is right. Call now, 623-9400. You've waited for Spectrum long enough.
The excitement of NFL football is right around the corner, and with it comes the return of the Rashad Rosen NFL Report. Beginning Sunday, September 5th, Minnesota Viking Ahmad Rashad and Channel 4's Mark Rosen team up for a live half hour of Viking highlights, game analysis, highlights of other Central Division action, and answers to call-in questions from viewers. Catch the return of the Rashad Rosen NFL Report, Sunday, September 5th at 10:30 on WCCO Television. WCCO Television, Minneapolis, St. Paul.